My content is for 13 and up or adult collectors of the product. Do Beyblade projectiles work? Hello everyone. Now, for this video, I was kind of thinking to myself the idea of Beyblade projectiles. And thinking in burst in specific, how effective have they been? Do they really work? So I want to say before we continue with this video, subscribe to the channel with bell notifications on. We're going to be taking a look at 4 specific bays, so we'll get started. So for what they define Revive Phoenix is a Super Z layer that bursts the Revive armor on the outside of the layer, first when attacked by the opponent, preventing damage to the main body. Then after with Dead Phoenix, that aims to counter with super weight while preventing damage to the main body with armored defense. Right? So technically we are answering the armor thing, but since the armor does come off, we're also seeing kind of how, because technically this would just be bullet, but I do want to count the armors because they are used as a projectile in the stadium. Prominence, when receiving a strong attack by the Prominence shield, comes off allowing bursts. Okay, and there's 2 modes, and I'll go over. And then bullets, separates for the shaft, and attacks. So the whole idea is kind of like counter, basically. So I think maybe a more appropriate term could maybe be counter projectile or something. Maybe. We'll go over and explain the gimmicks one by one, and then I'll go over effectiveness. So for all of the Phoenixes that are from basically COPPA, the idea is when you give it enough hits, it is going to turn, the armor is going to fly off, hit the opponent, and then after you have the center. So the idea is this is supposed to actually help you because in a way you're bursting like twice, right? It'd be like this, and then after if you lose all the clicks like this. So we're gonna do some tests for this Phoenix and the other ones to see how well that does. So we'll have this Phoenix, and then perfect Phoenix. All of them will be like 10 cross, extend plus. All right, to help us on this basic test, we're gonna first we have to go through the Phoenixes. Obviously the main one you'd go through is perfect Phoenix, but I guess dead also counts. So for this, I wanna first show it off against like stamina stuff, right? I don't really know if the armor comes off the first round or does it. No, either way, generally this thing should work. It really does depend. Another thing too is kind of just hoping if the armor does come off that it comes off at an appropriate time. In the case of the armor too, because the armor is more pushed out, there's more outwards weight distribution for it. Let me try that again. Wow, okay. Wow, that was like an anime moment. God damn. Well, possibility to happen, I guess, in a match. So, at the very least, we know that the armor is probably going to be working. Well, I was also going to show it off against something like Revive. I mean, let's try Revive either way, right? Before we even get to Dead. I think Revive's a little bit easier for it to come off. Okay, so you can see with the weight and everything for it, an issue that can happen in a stamina matchup with this armor is that you could just end up hitting yourself and wasting a lot of stamina. Now ideally, if you're hitting your opponent enough, you should be able to, you know, hopefully OS it, right? But that is a possible issue. Now, once we get to perfect Phoenix, it's pretty much where it becomes like God tier in COPPA. Heavy weight and everything. We stayed in the center. The armor didn't come off yet. It should be coming off. I did lose clicks, by the way. I should mention that. Even if the armor doesn't come off, you can still lose clicks. Yeah, so the thing is with the perfect, the armor doesn't really come off like that. It takes like a lot more just to make that happen. So I suppose in this case you'd just be carried super, super hard by your stamina. So perfect, it's a lot harder in this case in a stamina matchup to get this to work, right? Is it possible? Yeah. Basically, the weakness I already mentioned before, present, and technically it's present for pretty much all of them. It'll be up against Chozy, Valkyrie, Zenith, Extreme. And hopefully this works. It does not. So it's supposed to really shut down the attackers, right? There. And what's really an issue is going to be, yeah, exactly that. Thank you, Chozy Valkyrie, for showing it off. The issue is not only the armor eventually getting off, but obviously against attackers, you are going to be pretty vulnerable there. So your best hope is for the armor to shut them down. Alright, come on. Yeah, so one thing too is that it's kind of hard to control it flying off, right? Because you need that impact, and you could also just get KO'd there. In that case, it died. Oh, there you go. So, like I said before, should have killed a lot of the momentum and kind of like that speed and everything it was going at the start. Kill a little bit of the aggression. Now we're gonna see whether or not it's still vulnerable. Yeah, I mean, in fairness, it was to like the last click, so clearly it was enough force to hold it on. Okay, cool. I don't know if this works or if it doesn't. Okay. Oh, there you go, there you go. Oh, alright. I don't know. What I'm thinking is maybe it's just like specific against certain stuff that hits it. Because there are two issues with how this works. It has to be a big enough hit. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So kind of like that, but still though, I think the issue of it being still vulnerable, it's kind of a thing that's just present there. But you know, then again, it's not really like you can't really do anything about it. The idea is that the armor should be doing most of the work. So in this case, I will say that in terms of the Chozy stuff, I will say it is an effective gimmick. It does work how, I would say generally how it's advertised, and even going through these matches, we can kind of see that it was effective. So moving on. Next up, we have Venom/Erase with the Bullet Driver. So the idea with the Bullet Driver is that when there's enough force pressed down, you're going to separate, right? And a little projectile is going to come in and try to attack the Van Health. Now we're going to see whether or not this is really effective. We're going to do two tests. We're going to do kind of a basic one against Prime Apocalypse with Venom. And we're then after going to see with the real combination against like Command Stock, which should be fine really. Alright, so next up is Bullet. So the issue with Bullet is that it's not the easiest to activate. Unless you do something like that. So the thing is with Bullet, because I am using like a newer launcher, you really need a strong shoot, because the idea is that you are applying pressure on the bottom, so it twists and it shoots it out. So we're gonna try to do a matchup against like, just like kind of a weak bay. See if I can get it out. So the issue with Bullet, for starters, is that it is really, really light. Because Bullet is really light, it's very easy to get sent out. Very, very easy. The issue is going to be actually is kind of when it gets deflected afterwards, because I should mention, right? That's how this works. Because Bullet, the weight is about 6.04 without it, and it's like 9.4 or whatever, right? And together it's about like 15.44. Also to quickly mention, the armor is about 9.05, and then after 12.87, and then the base with the level chips like that much, right? Because I have to show this afterwards. So the thing is, because it's not really that wide and heavy, it doesn't really do much damage to the other bay. Like, it does, like, the armors are obviously a lot heavier, so it's going to be a lot easier for them to do something. For your bullet, it's not exactly fun. I think actually that match highlights it a little bit well. Like, the bullet itself doesn't really do anything. Maybe what you could kind of say is maybe that the impact of getting the bullet out could work and drain the other bit. But then your other issue is that this has literally no stamina, right? No stamina at all. It's kind of like this ultimate projectile combination where it is Phoenix with the armor that can shoot off and then the bullet projectile. For this one, our opponent will be Command Dragon. We'll see if it even works. So the bullet already failed us. And the armor failed us. We're gonna try again. All right. You'll notice that even though we did manage to get some success with the bullets, I don't know if it can knock off the armor. If it can, that would be nice. Yeah, the armor not really too well. So even for like a combination that's like this, it's not too effective. Okay. So now we have Prominence Phoenix. Ooh. So with Prominence, it's very key how they did it. So there is 2 modes to Prominence. The first mode is that in heavy, it's a lot harder for the armor to come off because of how it's locked into it. The other ones you just twist it, it locks, but this one, actually press it into it. The other way is light mode where it's very easy to come off. Now the issue actually is for stamina stuff, it's really hard for this thing to fly off. It only really flies off against attack types. The other issue is that because of actually how light the armor is and the actual base, which even though it's 14 in total, right? This is about 9.48. And this is about like 5.22. You would have to have this be like really like a lot heavier, and because of how bad the weight distro is, the weight distribution, the stamina is not really there, but let's just say, let's try it purely against attack stuff and see how well it does. So for this, and we're gonna do this only really in light, we got illegal and we got bearing dash. We'll throw this up against Xiphoid, but I'm not liking the Xanthus. We could try with Xanthus, I don't really think it matters too much. Okay, so now that we did it like that, we're obviously not going to actually give this thing a dash, okay? It's enough joking. Okay, now we're going to try it again and see whether or not it works. So, a big issue with this, right? Big issue. Not even with that much force, the armor, because it's so light and because it's not really padded underneath, it pretty much just escapes the stadium really easily. So yeah, you can kind of see what I mean there. It's not really, it doesn't really work out too well. Right. This is the case where I'll say that projectiles really fail. No, someone's going to say, but zankye, you know, what about against other right stuff? You know, you're not giving this too fair of a chance. The armor came off, but it kind of really depleted the stamina of that thing there. So again, the armor has done nothing here. Alright, so ending off, does this really work? Yes, except bullet. I think in terms of Phoenix, Prominence is really disappointing because of how they did Prominence for the weight and everything for the armor. It doesn't really stay in, and also kind of how the activation works for the thing, because the other one it was like a click and slide, and the other one's like on top, so for it to kind of go flying like that is not really useful for you, because it really can jeopardize you in the battle, because we're not even talking about like same spin stamina, it's clapped, right? But the idea is just trying to use it in battle against like really maybe just, I guess, kind of attack stuff. But another issue you'll come to realize too is that if you're against left stuff, it's also going to make it an issue for equalization if the thing comes off, because you're not going to have that much of a round shape and everything, you'll probably lose, right? Either way, I thought this was really fun to do. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What's another gimmick you want to see me do next? You want me to see me do like the rollers? So I guess that would be, what would be the rollers? That'd be Chris Satan, Curse Satan, I guess Universe and Loop? I don't know if I'm in I guess Just? I'm trying to actually think. Yeah, let me know in the comments and just list it or whatever. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day and bye. Hey everyone, we are doing a limited giveaway for our customers who pre-ordered the Hello Kitty on our shop, and the ones who still want to pre-order, make sure to listen. So you automatically get in with your purchase of Kitty, and what we're giving you can win with your purchase of one, or at least one, some got multiple. If you win, you can get one Hello Kitty, that includes the shipping along with the plushie. And you get a plushie of Hello Kitty that is legit authentic from Japan. So for the people who purchase, you're automatically entered into the thing. And for the people who want to get into it, so long as you pre-order before September 10th, which is the draw date, you have a chance. So best of luck to everyone. It's an authentic plushie of Hello Kitty. It's really nice, a good opportunity we want to give back to our support from our customers.